A petition for free Australian standards. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because this is probably one of the most important petitions, well, that I would think, that I'm going to draw your attention to in the entire history of humanity. I'm not calling it too big, but, I reckon it is. Now, if you work in the construction sector, you're familiar with these type of books. There we go. Building code. Now, we can get it for free, thanks to a Liberal government. You can get it for free, you can download it. That's a saving of hundreds of dollars every year that you used to have. And they went from a 3-year upgrade to, only every year an update. And the changes would be tiny, but you still have to buy it. Because you're under the Building Act, you need to design, build, document to this guy. Now, if something is referred to in this book, so an Australian standard, if it's referred to in that, because the Building Code or the National Construction Code is called up in the Building Act, which in different states make it essentially law, that means the standards are also law. You have to comply with them. And you think, okay, fantastic, they should be free. Shouldn't they? They should be free. No, they're not. Private organization sells them, makes money off these bloody things. And all of this is an additional cost to construction. This is why everything gets a little bit more expensive. Every little bastard wants their little slice off the top. And you got to understand, sure, people need to be compensated for making these standards, but a lot of the time is voluntarily put in to make these standards, or it's businesses that can fund it. And then that kind of gives them advantage, but that's another argument. Now, at the very least, these should be free. They should be free for everyone, for even consumers to check. How is a consumer going to know if something's built to standard if they can't get the standard and read it without spending hundreds of dollars? And these things are not cheap, guys. You know what? Let's look up here. I'm gonna just get up what standard will we look at? We'll look at AS 1428.1. The Australian Standard for Disability Access. This is one you need. Everyone, where is it? What? Is this for all standards or just this one? This has to be for all standards. What you'll get: access to amendments and futures, a second user license, multi-user device, offline access. To what? Just this standard? The primary reference set, current. Okay, so there you go. 214 documents. For nearly $1,000 a year, $891 a year. That's not a good deal, guys. Although I'll probably sign up to it because I need access to these documents. Now, I used to get access when I was a member of the Royal Australian Institute of Architects. They rebranded. They went Australian Institute, but they used to be the Royal one. And we would get access to these standards for like 15 minutes at a time. You could just get the PDF and look at them. You could also buy the individual standards as well. But they've moved to a subscription model. Anyway, and some of the things would expire. I remember we bought a standard and it expired within a month. And this is after paying $300. It's complete bullshit. This stuff needs to be free. It will help everyone in the construction industry. It will help every consumer as well to check. There's no way a consumer can know. Now, I'm assuming you can still buy these standards individually. What if you can't? What if you have to, subscribe for a year, for $1,000 for a 1-year subscription, $1,000 to these standards? And these are called up in the NCC, so they're pretty much law. This is good for consumers. This is good for people in the construction industry. So this is the petition, guys, and I will put a link to it. I encourage you, please sign this to at least to draw some attention to it. So, Australian standards are restricted to professionals, tradesmen, and organisations through a private entity. Well, no, they're restricted to everyone through a private entity. You've got to pay for them. These standards are becoming increasingly expensive, and the restrictions on accessibility are increasing. These standards are essential to what? Are they only allowing professionals to get access to them? That's bullshit. These should be in the hands of consumers. People should be able to, some anal bastard buying an apartment should be able to get the standard and demand access to the entire site to make sure it's correct. Harness the bloody Reddit 4chan autism magic power to make sure we address building compliance. That'll work better than anything else, honestly. For a single task or service, a number of these standards may be required. These standards are also constantly being revised, so new versions are required. Some standards are mandated by legislation. Many of the people that require these standards are in small organizations or even sole traders that cannot support these overheads. This in essence will force small organizations and sole traders out of business or necessitate services being performed without having access to these standards. What you can do, or you used to do, is to get access through the library, but I don't know if you can even use that for your business. I don't know if you could even do that through your business. All the standards I've bought, I've printed out, kept a copy of them, so I've got a physical copy of these things in the digital age. The existing model is unsustainable and will potentially lead to incidents, inoperability, and disruptions to operational infrastructure. For example, a small electrical engineering company with 10 people that performs electrical design may need access to hundreds of standards on a single project. Well, I'm telling you guys, I need access to these 214 documents here in the NCC because every single one is referred to the National Construction Code. So you've got to design for it. This is why some people, we did a video on the profitless construction boom. And one person said it's a mugs game. It's all full of get-rich-quick scheme people and people wanting to get out of the game. I don't blame them. I do not blame people wanting to get out. I'm trying to adjust the volume here. On the fly. Such a professional organization I am. So this is another cost. This is another issue that people have to deal with in construction, guys. We therefore ask the House to provide stronger oversight and or mandates to the organizations controlling access to Australian standards to make these readily available for free or at a reasonable cost to all people in Australia who require these standards to perform their duties. I would go even further. I would argue that all of these standards should be provided free to everyone for consumer protection reasons. This is why. If you have legislation that builders should comply with, that everyone should comply with, consumers should be able to check that legislation. This isn't some ancient guild mastery knowledge. Most people can read through these bloody standards. They will put you to sleep, some of them, but you need them. So there we go, guys. I will link to this. There's only 4,084 signatures. Come on, if every single one of the subscribers to the channel signs this petition, we could get it to 30,000. Hey, even if we get 100 people doing it, that would be a big win, guys. So please let us know in the comments if you've, go and sign this petition. I'll pin it in the comments below. And come back and comment to let people know you've signed so we get more people engaged with this. This is important. This stuff, from a consumer perspective, from a small business perspective, it needs to be free. And there's no reason why this can't be hosted for free somewhere and given out. You can even open source a lot of these standards. What do you reckon? Let me know some stories if you've seen standard stuff-ups. I remember, well, I'll flip over to talking about it here. I remember when I was a student working in an architectural practice, one of the builders who was working on our jobs, he was doing a fit-out for a restaurant, for one of these kitchen cooking show things. And he had stuffed up the stairs. He hadn't designed the stairs to the Australian standard or to the National Construction Code. And he got an injunction against the show being issued because that delayed the entire opening of the restaurant. And they would have loved it. The TV show would have loved it. All this drama. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next episode. If you're a fan of the channel and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join us financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, or contact us for architectural services. We do a lot of in commercial, education, and the resource sector. There you go, guys. We need to get these standards free. I'm pissed off that consumers need to be able to read the bloody things that people are building to. What good is it saying built to Australian standards? It's complete bullshit. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Oh, and have a happy Easter.